Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sincerely Agile with Mary. Now, today I'm particularly excited today because we've got three amazing young ladies sharing their journey as girls in tech with us today. So, welcome to an amazing episode on Sincerely Agile with Mary. So, today it is all about girls in tech, and I have, like I said, three amazing ladies joining me. I have Goodness. I'm just going to welcome her to the screen. Hello, Goodness. How are you?
Hello, ma'am. I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. And here we have Ewere Chuku. Hello, Ewere Chuku. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. Nice to have you, Ewere Chuku. And last but not least, we have Jumoke Adeyemi. Hello, Jumoke.
Hi, mom.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you too?
I'm very well, thank you. It's so good to have you all on the show. How
Yeah.
have you been doing? How are you faring? I mean, like I always ask our guests, it's been 2 years of COVID. How have you survived COVID? If I can ask Emewere Chukwu to answer that, please, if you don't mind.
I mean, COVID has been something, and it's been a lot trying to deal with it and trying to navigate like the new normal, as it's now called.
The new
And
normal, right?
yes, and yes, a lot of people died, but it's also given us the adventure to explore other ways of doing things. It's giving remote work a better place to thrive. Opportunities are now more like accessible and remote, so you're no longer limited by location. And
Absolutely. We are no longer limited. Absolutely. And what about yourself, Goodness? How have you fared during this COVID period?
For me, COVID has been more of an opportunity for me to connect with my family and do other things apart from work. You know, why we used to go to work every day used to be like our whole life revolved around work. But COVID gave me the opportunity to sit back and actually connect with my family, and which is something I think is pretty important.
Absolutely. And yourself, Jumoke, what has your COVID experience? What has that been like?
Yeah, my COVID experience has been nice. Yeah, COVID has ushered us into a new era entirely, and it's been a nice time exploring the new era that we've been ushered into.
Absolutely. And we have some people joining us already. I've got Ronke joining us on LinkedIn. We stream on YouTube and Facebook as well. So we have people on those platforms joining us as well. Today we're talking about girls in tech. And this is an important topic, especially for the month of March, when we celebrate International Women's Day, which was, I think, on Tuesday. It's an opportunity to encourage more young ladies like yourselves into this space. And on this show, Sincerely Agile with Mary, that's one of our mission to bring more diversity into the technology space and into the agile space. So it's with so much pleasure that I am actually hosting this particular episode today. So, my first question to you, ladies, which is this one here. How did your tech journey with Africa Agility Foundation, how did that start? Because Africa Agility Foundation is an NGO that is, busy getting girls into the tech space. So if I can start with you, Jumoke, how did your journey with Africa Agility Foundation, how did that start?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So my journey into tech started with a flyer I saw on social media about Africa Agility calling for applications into their second edition of the Girls in Tech Bootcamp. So about that time, I just decided to transition into tech, and I was on the lookout for every available opportunity. So
Mm,
Africa Agility actually came in right when I needed the avenue and the empowerment. And thank God they came through. So that was just the start of my journey into tech for me.
and you applied and you got through, and here you are
Yes,
today.
so I applied. Luckily, I got through. I had to move from my state to another state,
Hmm.
that's Lagos, where the boot camp held. And the boot camp actually went well. I did well. I finished well, and that just ushered me into tech.
Fantastic. Goodness, how did it start for you?
Okay. I used to work as a digital marketer in a company, and then we had this product that had a bad user experience, in my own opinion, though. So, it was my research and everything led me to into user research experience. That's UI UX. I really was interested in, and then I started to look for opportunities around that. And then I stumbled upon Africa Agility's e-flyer, also like Jumoke, and then registered, answered the questions. Do you think we should give you this opportunity? I really did needed that opportunity at that point, and then I got in. I got in. It was an awesome experience. It was an awesome 3 weeks. 3 weeks that has been pivotal for my entire life. Yeah, it's been amazing.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And yourself, Ewerechuku?
I was in my third year, about to enter my final year, and I saw the e-flyer on Instagram, and I decided to apply because I had just finished a course similar to a boot camp, and I was looking for more certifications. But because of the timing, I wasn't sure it was something I'll be able to pull through because like
Okay.
school about to resume. But I decided to take the risk. And I remember going to the place to apply, and I was skeptical. Is this real? Is this not true? Because the certifications are pretty expensive, and
Yeah.
for people to someone to just really like sponsor people to do that. So I was a bit skeptical. I applied, and I got through, and it was a fantastic 3 weeks, and I got the certification.
Fantastic 3 weeks immersion. I see you're an associate product manager with Spotify. Now that is big deal. That is big deal. Let's just see. We've got some Yemi Odubote here. Hello, Yemi. How are you? Nice to have you here. Now, I think you ladies, someone must have perhaps shared the private link I gave you. I have a few people joining us in the studio. They shouldn't be here. They should join us on LinkedIn or on YouTube. Now, back to my questions. Goodness, I see that you are a product manager and you are based in Nigeria. Now, what has that three, I mean, because you were already working in that space apparently, right? So, what would you say you have really benefited working as a product manager, having gone through that boot camp, Africa Agility boot camp?
Okay. So the thing about product management is that you need knowledge, maybe basic knowledge of most things relating to the product, maybe product development, the user experience. You need like little experiences. You need those knowledge. And for me, having the user experience knowledge that I got from Africa Agility has been
Mhm.
like really instrumental in having experience, having the knowledge as regards to user experience, dealing with products and all. So it's giving me like an edge above my
Right.
peers, because having the user experience knowledge makes me more versatile. It gives me more knowledge, gives me hands-on experience as regarding the user experience, and then as it relates to the product. So I think that 3 weeks, I think that the user experience knowledge that I gained in Africa Agility for the 3 weeks has given me like an edge in the product management space. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, would you say you're performing better at work now, having, acquired all that knowledge?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so we have more people joining us here. Nice to have you all here. Thank you so much for being here. So now that we have more people join us, let me just, very quickly read your bio so that people can get to know more of you ladies. Starting with Goodness. Goodness Ehizode is a product manager with versatile experience dealing with different aspects of product development. She's also a host of a podcast that focuses on everything related to products called Everything Products, a certified Scrum Master as well, and an MBA student at the University of Nexford. Now, Jumoke Adeyemi holds a bachelor degree in microbiology from Obafemi Awolowo University. She's a data analyst at Price Pally, where she helps to generate data-driven insights that drives the growth of the company. Now, I particularly like the fact that she says she's passionate about employing technological solutions in improving public health, and she currently runs her master's in bioinformatics at Covenant University. And last but not least, I have Ewere Chukwu Asaka. She is a first class graduate of computer science from Covenant University. She had previously interned at MasterCard Nigeria, Andela, and KPMG Nigeria. She is currently a rotational associate product manager at Spotify, and her goal is to become a product manager for product to improve the lives of Nigerians, especially Nigerian women. Now, young ladies doing amazing things both in Nigeria and abroad. Now, Ewere Chukwu, you are based in Sweden right now, right? Working as an associate product manager. Tell us about that journey. You're a student from Covenant University. You attended the Africa Agility Foundation boot camp, and today you are in Sweden working with Spotify. I mean, that is big deal. Tell us about how you ended up in Sweden.
Thank you. So I studied computer science, and so I was already sort of familiar with the tech space. And after my first internship at KPMG, I realized that I needed to do more outside school work, but I didn't know what area I wanted to focus on. Did I want to code? Did I want to go in? Did I want to code? Did I want to do maybe cybersecurity or the rest? So I was still exploring. And in my third year, during the cyber period, I discovered product management. Then I was interning at Andela, and I did the product dice course. So I had like a fair introduction of what product management was, and I started applying for opportunities. And I also applied for like the Africa Agility program. So at that point, I was just putting myself out there, applying for internships, boot camps, trying to see courses to scale up. And I got into the program. And while I got into the program, I was actively interviewing with like 3 or 4 other companies.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wanted to get an opportunity outside of Nigeria. That was my goal.
That
And
was
I
the
wanted
goal.
to,
So you were really
yes,
focused on that,
yeah,
right?
I was really focused on that, and I was really focused on APM and RPM programs. So I
Right.
interviewed with Google. I also interviewed with Quizlet and Mastercard for like PM internships, APM programs, and I also applied to Spotify. And
Mm-hmm.
because it was not my first time interviewing for like an APM program, an associate product
Right.
management program, I was sort of familiar with like what to do, the resources to use, people to reach out to. So I interviewed at past the stages by God's grace, and I got it. So I think just putting yourself out there and not being scared
Mm.
to reach out really, really helps me.
Putting yourself out there and not being scared to reach out. Now, what I see in front of me, I see three amazing ladies who have leveraged the digital space, who have leveraged internet and social media, if you like, to be where they are today. Now, when I asked the question, how did your journey with Africa Agility Foundation started? You all said you saw the advert on social media, right? So you were obviously, in the right place at the right time also. Now, today also, we know that digital presents a lot of opportunity for our young people. And one of the things we're hoping to achieve today is to, use this platform to encourage more young ladies to come into the technology space, because we believe the ladies can do it too. The girls can do it too. It's not just for the lads, right? We can also thrive in this space, and we're proving that we can thrive in this space. So to be in Nigeria, having gone to a university in Nigeria, attended a few boot camps here and there because you also intended Mandela, and you ended up, with a fantastic organization in Sweden, Spotify. Um, what was that interview process like? Because I'm sure, I mean, you may have ended up in Sweden, but there are some perhaps remote opportunities that people can take advantage of. I mean, I personally, I have trained some Scrum Masters and some developers who are based in Nigeria, but they are working for an organization in Arizona, United States of America. So how can people coming into this tech space, how can they more, take advantage of this remote working? If I can ask Jumoke to answer that, please.
All right. So should I say thank God for COVID, because it has really ushered us into the era of remote working.
Mm,
Like, I know quite a number of girls, even in Africa Agility, that works remotely with companies in Nigeria and companies
mm-hmm.
outside Nigeria. So COVID had made us realize that we can stay here in Nigeria and then have the opportunity to work with, intern with organizations all over the world. I mean, the internet has been of a great help in that aspect. So yeah, I would say COVID opened our eyes in Nigeria to
Mm.
opportunities in the tech space. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fantastic. Um, yes, someone is talking about your names. I have their names. They had their names individually, but when we came together as a team of four, their name disappeared. I don't know what to do to bring it back. So I'm sorry about that. So let me go back to the questions. They did have their names on when we started. Okay. So let me just look for the next best question to ask you. There you go. How soon after the boot camp did the job opportunities come your way? Goodness, do you want to take that?
All right. So during the boot camp, we already started to design. I was in the user experience track, UI UX track, and in 2 weeks we were already designing, doing assignments and all. So there was this particular assignment that was given to us to design an e-commerce store, and then I designed mine and put mine on social media, on WhatsApp status, and then also on LinkedIn. And within 3 days of doing that, I got someone, well, you designed this. Oh, really? It's amazing. Can you design something like that for me? So I'd already started to get freelance jobs during the
Right,
cohorts already.
right. So, and that was how you got that exposure. People could
Yeah.
actually see what you could actually
See what
do
I
in
was
terms of
doing. Yeah.
user
Yeah.
experience design and all of that. Fantastic. What
Yeah.
about you, Jumoke? How soon after the boot camp did you have job opportunities?
Well, as soon as the boot camp ended, I started seeing opportunities all over. But actually, as at that time, I didn't have a CV ready for the market. So I
Okay.
had to take like 2 months to take a lot of online courses. I volunteered to intern with organizations inside here in Nigeria and even outside Nigeria. So that helped me build a CV that was market ready. So exactly 3 months after the bootcamp. Okay, while I was still learning, I was actually still applying, but I
Hmm.
got my first job exactly 3 months after the bootcamp, and it was a bank.
Wow. That
Yes.
wasn't a long time at all. 3 months after the
So
boot camp, and you started working, and you were working with a bank, you said?
no, not the bank. I work with Price Pally. It's an e-commerce store here in
Okay,
Nigeria.
e-commerce. Okay,
Yes.
fantastic, fantastic. Well done. And Ewerechukwu, how quickly, did you end up in Sweden, Spotify?
I I got I did an internship. I got an internship first, and that was I think like 3 or 4 months after, and then this opportunity came like 6 months after the bootcamp.
6 months after. That's not
Yeah,
bad as well.
yeah. I was still a
That's not bad.
student at that time too,
You were
so
still a student as well at that time. Okay.
graduates.
It just goes to show that, these things can happen. So for those of you
Yeah.
watching, the opportunities are there, because for me, that is exactly what I want to highlight. It just goes to show that organizations have positions to fill, and that for the most part, they actually don't have people with the right skills. That is what is happening. The jobs are there, the vacancies are there, but people have not skilled up enough, to close that gap. So if you're watching and you're thinking, oh, perhaps I want to be a product manager, perhaps I want to go into, user experience and user interface design and all of that, then you perhaps want to take that first step and go online and research how you can start that journey. And what I often say also is the fact that you can begin to learn about these things online on your own. But however, we are grateful for Africa Agility Foundation. This is something that is happening every year with the foundation, and you might want to find out more about Africa Agility Foundation with regards to the initiatives that they run on a yearly basis. Now, to my next question, what does a typical day look like for you? Again, we want people to know that this is doable. This is not rocket science. Let me start with you, Ewerechukwu. What does a typical day look like for you as a product manager?
A typical day for me, I'm still an APM, so a typical day for me would be to attend stand up, and
Mm,
it differs, but on a typical day to be attending startups, you have a few meetings in
mhm.
between, and currently I was writing a product brief, so a typical day might involve me working on my product brief, trying to get feedback on the brief, and following up on certain stakeholders that I have. I need to get
Can I
commitments.
take you back one step? Who is
Okay.
a product manager? What does it mean to be a product manager? Tell our audience, who is a product manager?
Okay. So initially, I would have said before I became a product manager, the definition I had for a product manager was well, product management itself, to me, it's trying to build the right product for the right people at the right time. That's how I see product management, and ensuring that you're building the right thing and getting your users getting to know their problems, and things like that. So someone that does product management is a product manager. So typically it will involve you highlighting like the product features, understanding your users' pain points, trying to manage stakeholders, and the product roadmap, what are things we could implement now and things we could implement in the future. So scoping and prioritization. So
Mm-hmm.
those are things that a product manager would typically do.
Absolutely. So yeah, go on. So what does a typical day look like for you?
So a typical day for me is like attending stand-up meetings, following up with certain stakeholders, and writing some form of documentation that I'm currently working on at that point in time.
So in terms of the product design itself, how involved are you with that journey, from concept to cash? How involved are you?
Yeah, so different companies have different ways of, or different ways that their product managers like interact with this product design
Mm-hmm.
phase. And in smaller startups, you see product managers actively involved in the design phase. And in bigger companies, you have more like people with more designated roles. But as a product manager, you still interact with this product design phase in the sense that you're responsible for highlighting, okay, these are the opportunities here. This is why we need to do this and why we need to do it now. These are the
Mm-hmm.
things we would need to do. So you highlight these opportunities, your typical users, their pain points, features we would want to implement. You'll
Mm-hmm.
have a designer that's more experienced with user psychology and colors and how to use colors to get emotions, who actually designs the screens and ensures that okay, what we have is actually solving this problem. And from there
Yeah.
you can go on to do user testing, user research. So the product manager is still involved in all this because you're trying to get feedback from the designer and the user researcher. You might want to test to validate your idea. After that, you can go into the implementation phase. And even in the implementation phase, you might realize that, oh, some things are not technically feasible, or we might not be able to implement certain features. So
Mm-hmm.
then you have to go back to iterate to scope to prioritize. So in some companies, it's a very like agile process where things like it's
Absolutely.
fluid. So a product
Absolutely.
manager is involved, but at the very early stage, you product manager is very, very vital in determining
Mm-hmm.
what we actually build.
Now, the reason I've asked you to, tell us what a typical day looks like is another reason a lot of ladies or young girls run away from the technology space is for some reason, a lot of people think the moment you mention technology, it is technical. It is about coding. It is about programming. That is what a lot of people think. And
Mm.
because of that, they shy away from this space. We're trying to encourage more people, especially, diversity into this space. Now, from what you have just said, there's nothing technical about the account you have just given us. You're
Mhm.
designing a product. You talked about how you're looking at pain points. How can we solve the problems people are having? We're talking about the right product at the right time for the right people. There's nothing technical about that. It's all about user experience. It's all about solving problems. So if you have that mindset, if you have a mindset where you are really inquisitive and you like solving problems, then you perhaps want to come into the technology space as a product manager. Now, before I go on, we've got some people in the studio. Please, can I ask you to join us on YouTube or LinkedIn, please? If you're in the studio and you're not my guest, you shouldn't be here. I think you've gotten the wrong link from our guest. The link was meant for just our guests. So please join us on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Thank you very much. So if you can just leave the studio, please, that would be great. Thank you very much. You are in the wrong place. Thank you so much. Now, let me push that same question to you, Goodness. What does a typical day look like for you?
Right. So, as a user experience designer, as a UI UX designer, a typical day would be first of all to attend stand-up meetings because you want to
Mm-hmm.
get the project scope, you want to know, get feedback from the stakeholders, from your team members, and then after attending the meetings, it would be to ideate.
Mm-hmm.
That's by ideate, put in all the feedbacks you've gotten, first of all, from what the product manager would be saying as regards the project scope, the
Okay.
product scope, and the product roadmap, the features, and
Mm-hmm.
all. You're going to ideate all that in first of all, and then go into the user research. So the user research, you could do interviews with users, you could check up on products that currently existing and see what your competitive edge would be like, and then go on to design, draw wireframes that's mapping out the roadmap, the user roadmap, the user flow, how the user would interact with the product, and then before designing.
Absolutely.
Although that doesn't happen in a whole day though, but it's
Mm-hmm.
part of the
Mm-hmm.
process. So you could do like maybe the
It's an
first steps.
iterative
Yeah,
process, isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what you have just described there is like, for example, you're trying to build a house. Now, if you're going to build a house, you're going to need an architectural drawing, right?
Yeah.
And so take, for example, we have an app. You're looking at what does this screen look like? What does that screen look like? If I press this button, what will I see? Where does it take me to? The
Exactly.
flow of the, yeah, exactly, of the
The
user
user
experience,
interaction.
user interaction and user experience. Again, as you can see, there's really nothing technical about this. If you're someone who likes, who even likes to draw, if you're a good artist, you like to draw, you can, you can, put an idea together. Then you can come into the digital space as a user experience professional. So we really, really want to, drive this message home that it's not about coding all the time. When we talk about working in the technology space, it is not at all about coding. Now, over to you, Jumoke. What does a typical day look like for you?
Okay, so as a data analyst at an e-commerce company, so what I do day to day is to first collect data. I gather data, customer data, sales data, any form of data that I know that will be useful to the company now
Mm-hmm,
or later in the future. So
mm-hmm,
I do that using Excel, sometimes Google Sheets, as simple
mm-hmm,
as that. Then from then I clean this data because usually raw data, live data kind of come out dirty. So I clean this data and then I transform it into a form that will be useful for analysis. Then I go ahead and analyze this data, try and
mm-hmm,
understand our customer better, their demography, their profile, our products, what are our top selling products, how can we get our customers to buy more, how can we satisfy our customers, what products do we need to add more to the cost. So this analysis then
mm-hmm.
help the company to make decisions, wise decisions and digital solutions that will drive the company and also satisfy the customers at the same time. So
Fantastic.
that's what
So
I do.
you are always dealing with data on a day-to-day
Yes,
basis.
data,
So
yes.
you take raw data and you
Yes.
try to extract some meaningful information out of that. So
Exactly.
for example, how many people are buying this product?
Yes.
Where are they coming from?
Yeah.
And I know you use a lot of analytics tools as
Tools.
well, like
Yes,
Google
yes,
Analytics, right?
yes.
We also have tools like Tableau,
Tablet,
to,
yeah, for
yeah,
visualization.
to visualize all this data.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, we often say that data is the new oil. Okay, let me emphasize on this because again, like I said, it's not about coding. So if
Yeah.
you're someone who is able to, get into that analysis space, I give you information, you can go and do some research, you can, look at that data and try to look for trends,
Yes.
you try to
Pattern.
extract, you're looking for patterns within all those
Yeah.
data that you have, then the technology space is for you, especially today.
Yes.
Especially today, the technology space is for you. Now, look at how big the internet is today. Organizations are constantly analyzing their data because their data is their new oil, is their new gold. They need
Yes.
to know where their
Very
customers are
important.
coming from. Yeah, they need to know
Exactly.
where their customers are coming from. They need to know where they can make the most. should I say, revenue from.
Yes.
So if you are good with numbers, if you are good with analysis, if you're good with, like I said, just looking for patterns and digging and researching, then the technology space is for you today. Please do not shy away from it. And we are particularly, encouraging our young ladies to come into this space.
Yes.
Now, post COVID, like we said before, remote working is now being leveraged. Ewere Chukwu, for example, she's working in Sweden with Spotify. But do you think that our youths are mostly paying attention, or are they distracted by social media? Because social media, the internet, like I always say, is a double edged sword. It could be that tool that makes you, it could also be that tool that messes up your life. So, what do you have to say to this? Let me start with you, Goodness.
Okay. All right. So, like you said, it is a double-edged sword, and it's very, very easy to get distracted on social media. Very, very easy. You could be scrolling, or you could just decide that okay, this is what you want to focus on, and in the next 10 minutes, you're already scrolling 1,001 slides. So it's important to know to have a why to why are you going on social media. I know that there's the fun part of it. I think you should have a designated time for that, to have fun and to just scroll endlessly, probably to relax. But you need to have a why are you going on social media, why is social media important, why are you dropping your work at this moment, and why are you going on social media. Are you going for a search? And then I think that you should put a stipulated time to whatever you're going to be doing on social media. So it's very, very, very easy to get distracted. But I think that social media is important. Basically, I've been a member of different tech communities. I wouldn't have gotten into those tech communities if I didn't have access to social media. There's so many opportunities that I've stumbled upon on social media. Africa Agility is one of it. So I think that just knowing your why, knowing the reason for being there, knowing why it's important for you to be there, and also harnessing the time, managing the time and opportunities is necessary. Yeah. So that's it.
Now you've just nailed that for me, right on the money there. Know your why. Why are you on social media? What are you doing on social media? It's a double-edged sword. But like you said, there are a lot of communities out there on social media that you can be a part of that can actually build you up. So for a lot of people who want to come into, take for example, you're interested in product management. You don't even have to spend any money just yet. Go to meetup.com. You will find communities for product managers on Meetup. If you are interested in user experience, you will find communities on meetup.com, whereby you can join to just, get acquainted with what this is all about. And that is the beauty of social media today. But then again, like you said, Goodness, we need to know why we are using social media. We need to use it to our advantage. And we also need to balance it out, right? It's not
Yeah.
that we shouldn't go on social media and have fun, but hey, are we also benefiting from social media and the internet, what it has, made available to us? Are we using that? Are we leveraging it? Jumoke, what do you have to say to that too?
Yes, so I would say that yeah, quite a lot of youths are actually being distracted by social
Mm,
media. Well, like you said, it's a two-edged sword.
mm-hmm.
There are lots of opportunities on social media. Africa Agility, for example, lots of tech communities that share opportunities. And then one another important thing that social media offers is it offers a platform to meet with mentors in your field. So you can follow renowned people in your field, see what they're doing, see the next in thing in your field and all. So social media is for me, internet has been my friend on this journey. In fact, I think it's a friend for every tech person because you get ideas, you get a lot of things from the internet. And I know that a lot of people are now coming into that awareness. People are now maximizing it. People are now using their data for something very important. So thanks to communities like Africa Agility and every other tech communities that are putting out opportunities out there and then enlightening people.
Again, I like the fact that you hit on data. You said people are now using their data for the right things. And let me tell you what I say. I say this all the time. If you exhaust your data, and by the time your data is exhausted, you have learned nothing new. For me,
Wow.
that is like paying tuition and not attending classes. That is what I
Wow.
say. And I like the way you said using your data wisely, because whether you like it or not, you have paid for data, right? Being on social media doesn't come cheap. it's
At
not
all.
it's not free. So when you're on that when you're online, what are you doing with all your data? We need to keep improving ourselves, we need to keep developing ourselves, and the opportunities are there. There are a lot of mentors online. There are people are ready to mentor people. People are
Yes.
ready to spend 30 minutes with you, 1 hour with you, to give you some kind of insights into whatever clarity you're looking for. Okay, so we need to leverage that. And you can be in Nigeria and you can find someone in Atlanta mentoring you. You can find someone in Australia mentoring you. That is already happening. Okay, that is already happening. But our youths, are they taking advantage of that opportunity? I mean, just about 3 weeks ago, somebody reached out to me from Nigeria. She's already taken her first exam in Scrum Master track, and she just wanted some guidance here and there. I gladly spent 30 minutes with her. And there are so many people like me on LinkedIn that would gladly do that, because obviously, like we keep saying, we want to mentor, we want to lift women up, we want to lift up our girls, and we want them to also be the best that they can be. And for as
Yeah.
long as what they're asking of us is what we can do, you'll be surprised. People will give 30 minutes of their time. They will give
Yeah.
30 minutes of their
Yeah.
time.
Speaking
Yeah.
of speaking of LinkedIn, can I add
Yeah.
something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so during our bootcamp, we taught LinkedIn optimization, and immediately after the bootcamp, I just started using LinkedIn. I mean, like a month or 2 months after I started using LinkedIn, I started getting offers in my DMs. I mean, organizations, recruiters were coming into my DMs and they were asking me, "Can I take this job? Like, can I take this job?" So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's it.
Absolutely. That's why we have LinkedIn, so that you can showcase yourself as a professional. So naturally, if you're looking for work, if you're a student that's just graduated, you should have your profile on LinkedIn. And if you've just graduated, you don't have to stay idle. Like you said, you can start, volunteering for organizations. That is also another mindset we're promoting on this platform. Go out there and volunteer, because you will get that experience that will boost your CV for the next opportunity that will come your way. Now, Ewere Chukwu, can I have your take on this?
For me, we've all mentioned really accurate things,
Yeah.
and sometimes it depends. Social media at times for me can be like an escape, and I might not want to see like work related stuff. I just want to go there to laugh and relax.
Yeah.
But in as much as we're on social media, it's still very good to surround like yourself with these people that share opportunities regularly. So
Hmm.
most times people actually say, "Oh, Twitter is actually very, very good in find a good tool for finding opportunities." And people might not actually relate. Oh, I go there. People are always fighting on Twitter and everything, but it just depends on how well you're able to build your following and how being deliberate about the people you follow. So even when you're relaxing, you're still being like open to opportunities and things like that. And LinkedIn is also a very, very valuable resource. And
Mm,
for me, sometimes LinkedIn is not even about like reaching out to people. It might just be seeing people's journeys. And one thing that really helps me is that okay, people that are where I want to be now, or people that are from similar backgrounds and where I want to be now. I just go to their profiles and check the things that they've done, what they did, and start looking at these opportunities and how I can fit myself into those opportunities so that I can get to where they are now. So it's like having people's open resume without having to speak with them. And social media also makes it really helpful to just reach out to people, because all the people that helped me during most of the people that helped me during like my interviews, I had not spoken to them before. I just reached out to them and like, oh, I have this. Would you
mm.
be helpful like to prep with me and work with me and tell me how to work for you? And it was super helpful. So
Fantastic. I like how you've all answered that question. You've all answered it so perfectly. I mean, goodness started by saying, know your why. Why are you on social media? Jumoke talked about your data. Use your data wisely. And now, Ewe Shuku, you're talking about who people are following. And I have talked about that so many times. I ask people, who are you following? And you've just hit it on the head for me there. Um, if you want to be a doctor, then you follow people who are already there, right? If you want to be I don't know, an accountant, you go online and you follow people who have perhaps done the AC, is it ICANN, they call it, whatever that track, whatever the opportunities are. When I started my agile journey, I did exactly the same. I followed people who had gone ahead of me. I followed, women, formidable women in that space. So I often ask that question myself. Who are you following on social media? Because it's like somebody is mentoring you and they don't even know they're mentoring you. That is what it's like when you are following people who you admire, people who you aspire to, to learn from. That is what that feels like. And that is the beauty of social media today. That is a great opportunity that has been presented to your generation. In my time, oh my God, when I graduated from University of Lagos in 1989, I think I've just given my age away there. 1989, when we were doing our projects, we had to travel to other universities. For example, I remember I had to go to University of Ibadan to use their library and to use the IITA research facility in Ibadan. But there's so much you people can do online today. I didn't have access to people in Australia. I didn't have access to people, globally. But today, at the click of a button, you have access to the world. We didn't have that. So we are using this platform to even do more, to say, look, there's so much more that we can do with this medium. So I'm happy to see young ladies like yourselves understanding the power of technology, understanding the power of connectivity, the fact that you can be in Nigeria and you can be linking up with anybody in the world. So that brings me back to the issue of your profile on LinkedIn. So if you're in Nigeria, you're aspiring to be in the tech space, you need to be visible on LinkedIn. You need to present yourself to the world in a way that makes sense, in a way that raises your profile as a potential employee, if you like, or a potential freelancer. So having your profile on LinkedIn, making sure you have the right content there, making sure you've structured it with some experiences that you've had. And if you think you don't have enough experience, go and volunteer. And that is what some of you have said to me today. Jumoke, you said you went and volunteered and, it made your CV look good. So very great points there. Thank you so much for that. Now, to my next question, let me just see, we have some more comments. Um, Hello from Lagos. We've got someone there from Lagos, and we've got joining you from, oh, okay, Bahamas. So nice to have you again here today, Andrea. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, I graduated in 1989. Absolutely. Okay, so my next question. Africa Agility Foundation paved way for you, for Ewere Chukwu, for Jumoke, for Goodness, and so many other amazing young ladies like yourselves. So, what are you doing to pay it forward and ensure its sustainability for other girls? Because this is important. I'm of the opinion that when we have opportunities like this, when we have initiatives like this, NGOs like this that are not just NGOs in name only, but NGOs in the action that they are taking. It's important that it doesn't die out, it doesn't fizzle out, right? That we continue to run those initiatives for more girls like yourselves to have those opportunities. So, is this something that has crossed your mind? Is this something you're already doing? Let me hear from you, Goodness.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. So, one of the reasons why Africa Agility is in existence is so that it can transform the lives of African females. And by this is not going to happen by just empowering one lady. Then there has to be a ripple effect, which is why we are being empowered so we can empower others. So presently I work at Africa Agility. I'm giving back with my work at Africa Agility as an enterprise growth manager. So directly and indirectly impacting the life of the females. They're making sure that we secure partnerships that help ease the life of these girls. So apart from the training, most of them, we want them to get internship positions, and we are looking for partners, we're looking for organizations to work with to achieve these goals. So this is what I do at Africa Agility. Presently, I work as the enterprise growth manager, and I'm making sure that these girls, apart from being trained, they get the long-term support that they need. Yeah.
Fantastic and well done to you. Thank you very much. Jumoke, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So it is very important that we ensure the sustainability of Africa agility. So for me, one of the reasons I couldn't just give up after the boot camp was I knew that giving up would mean that every resource and every all the time that Africa Agility has spent on me would have been a waste. So it actually kept me going. I wanted to get in. I wanted
Mm,
to be the best I could be. In
mhm.
fact, even up to now, anytime I make a reasonable accomplishment, I always go back. I make sure I attribute that accomplishment to Africa Agility. If you see me post on LinkedIn, I must tag Africa Agility. I proudly announce on LinkedIn that yeah, I'm a product of Africa Agility. So I'm actually I feel like an ambassador actually. And then beyond that, because we okay, beyond that, I actually recently made a financial commitment to give an amount at least monthly as God helps to Africa Agility because I am very sure that every dollar I give will help Africa Agility to transform the life of just another African girl out there. Yeah, so God
I'm
help me.
applauding you. I'm applauding you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you
That
very
is a huge commitment, and that
much.
is obviously, the right mindset, because this is a community. This is an organization that is a non-governmental organization. It's not funded by the government. So to
Yeah.
make that commitment of giving back, both financially and in other ways, I really, really applaud that. I really, really applaud what Goodness is doing. I applaud what you're doing. And that
Thank
is
you.
the mindset. And you see, on this show, on this platform, we talk about learning, unlearning, and relearning. We talk about becoming change agents, making change agents of ourselves. So, what I see here, I see women who are change agents, women who are already doing amazing things. It's almost as though you've taken the baton, right? And you're running with that also. So that is amazing. Ewere Chuku, over to you, please. And
Yeah.
then we'll answer this question here. Okay.
For me, it giving back is just telling my story and trying to inspire other people that want to do what I'm doing and do more.
And
And
do
I
more.
think that's one way I try to give back. And in
Mm,
terms of community, I think I'll be coming next this month or end of the month to just basically say things and share tips that have worked for me. And generally telling people about Africa Agility and the good work
mm.
we're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because the more word that gets out there, the more people get to know about Africa agility and the work they're doing and how they can be a part of it. So, take for example, we have here someone called Shola88 is saying, "Please, how can I be a part of this team?" Now, these are four ladies here who are talking about their journey with Africa Agility Foundation. So, if you go onto LinkedIn and type Africa Agility Foundation, you will find all the information you need. On an annual basis, they do a boot camp to get more girls into the technology space. So if this is something that interests you, by all means, go to LinkedIn and look for Africa Agility Foundation. And like we said, you can come into the tech space as a product owner, a scrum master, a data analyst, a user experience person. It doesn't have to be about coding. You don't even have to, write one line of code. I work in the tech space and I couldn't even code to save my life. So it has nothing to do with coding, nothing to do with programming. There's so much happening in the tech space that has nothing to do with programming, even documentation. There are some people, all they do in the tech space is they do the documentation. So you just need to go and do your research and ask yourself, what area of technology can I, really fit into? Because the technology space is just getting bigger and better every single day. As a matter of fact, a lot of jobs are not being filled because they just don't have the skills set out there. So there's a lot of opportunities here, and we're encouraging women, not just girls, women. I mean, I came into the agile space, close to the age of 50. So at the end of the day, age is no barrier either. If you think, you have the, skills for this, come into the space. All you need to do is skill up. All you need to do is train, retrain yourself, and get the skills you need, and put your CVs out there, and you'll be fine. Shola, please go on LinkedIn and look for Africa Agility Foundation. Um, Okay, so the foundation has a goal to train 50,000 African girls by 2022. So the foundation, they have their work cut out for them. 50,000, that is no small feat at all. That is quite a target. And if we look at the millions of young ladies we have, as much as this is a big number, they can do even more than that if they have the capacity to do that. And you'll be surprised that there are people out there that can actually benefit from this. Super proud of these young women who are leading with grace. Absolutely, 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 Andrea. I'm so proud of them, and that is why we have them here today to encourage other women to join. AfricaAgility.org. There you go. AfricaAgility.org. Get in touch to find out more. Um, this is how you can support Africa Agility financially. Absolutely. If there's anybody watching today and you think you want to support the foundation for the great work that they are doing, great work they are doing. In fact, the Lagos State Governor actually attended one of your initiatives, and if I remember, some girls got some laptops from the directly from the governor himself. That is how much people appreciate what the Africa Agility Foundation is doing. And we all know what happens when women come into spaces. We organize the sector. It's that simple. When women come in, by nature, we are project managers by nature. By nature, we are nurturers, and we are system thinkers. Women think in a very, should I say, systems way. We take a systems approach to how we do things. So the more of us that can come into the agile space and the tech space, the better the world is going to be. The better, right? The better. Okay, someone here is saying well done. Another Kemi is saying well done to you ladies as well. Super proud of you all. Now, what other questions do I have for you? Right, this one here. What is your message to aspiring girls in tech? Let me start with Ewere Chukwu.
I think the first thing I'll say is it'll be scary, but you can start with fear. Like, fear is not a bad thing. The key thing is that you start.
Yeah.
And don't be scared to put yourself out there. Most times you see people, I notice that my male counterparts, they find it easier to apply to jobs that they might not have like the full qualifications for.
Yeah.
But women want to tick all the boxes, want to check all the boxes before they put
Mm-hmm.
themselves out there. And I feel that, please just put yourself out there regardless. It's a learning process. Don't be scared of failure. Because you got rejected from a particular interview or from a particular job offer doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means that, it didn't work out, and just keep improving yourself. So don't be scared. Don't be scared of failure. Please put yourself out there. And yeah, tech is really what you make of it. And you don't just have to code like we've been saying it since. You can be a lawyer in tech. You can be an accountant in tech. You
Yeah.
can be HR in tech. Like,
Yeah.
you can be anything you want to be in tech. So just look for what fits you. Find people that are doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
and put your shot at it.
Fantastic message there. You touched on imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome. The ladies always, think I have to be perfect before I apply for
Yeah.
this job. I have to tick all the boxes. They're asking for 10 things. I must have all 10 things before, before I can apply for the job. Whereas a guy will have maybe 5 out of the 10, requests, and they will apply for it anyway. So we need to do more of that as well, and try and overcome imposter syndrome and put ourselves out there. You will never be 100% ready, but what is more important is that you're a self-directed learner. And let me just use this opportunity to talk about that. We are at an era where organizations are looking for people who can learn on their own, self-directed learners, people who can go and research on their own. Because today we need what we call on-demand information, okay? And because we need on-demand information, we mostly need on-demand learning. So you are working, you need to do something, you've never done it before, you go online and research it. That is what organizations are mostly looking for, that you have the capacity to do that, you have the ability to do that, you can learn. And more importantly, you have the right mindset. So that is what organizations are looking for. So yeah, from Ewere Chukwu there, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. There will never be a time when you wouldn't have that, some degree of fear, but put yourself out there anyway. Give it a try. But of course, before you can do that, you need to skill up. You need to learn. You need to learn new skills. So go online, use your data wisely, and skill up. Okay. Thank you very much, Ewere Chukwu. Jumoke, what do you say?
Yeah, so like you said, skill up, acquire every relevant skill in the particular field you have chosen, because we have different tech areas. Then follow people in that area. Yes, maximize social media. Then attend conferences, workshops, seminars. There are lots of them. And then it's very important that you actually be part of a tech community. There are lots of them. Africa Agility, there are lots of them out there. Be a part of a tech community, and then do it afraid. If
Do
you
it
have
afraid.
to, yes, if you have to volunteer to get started, just do it, and do it
Do it
afraid.
afraid. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I like again that you're talking about all the communities we have out there. And they are
Yes.
free. They are free. You don't have to pay a dime. You just need to do less of other things if you really want this. So, if you want to come into the tech space, you need to look at your life. You need to look at how you spend your time on a day to day basis. Okay. Are you busy gossiping on one group? Or are you just busy watching skits all day? I mean, I'm not here to police anybody. I'm just talking about this randomly. But, take stock. How are you spending your time? We all have the same amount of hours on any given day. So you need to then deprioritize the things that don't add value to your life so that you can make room for this new skill that you want to acquire. As you can see, it is not rocket science, and it is not to do with programming or coding. You can do so many things in the tech space. You can be a data analyst where you're looking at data in order to extract meaningful information. You could be a designer in a tech space. You could be a product owner where you are looking at the pain points organizations or people are going through and how you can better design the product or enhance the product, for better bottom line for the organization and better user experience. So please, 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 I hope we're getting the message across. We want more diversity in this space. We want more girls to come into this space, and you can do it. It is not that difficult. You can do it. If we can do it, you can do it also. Goodness, can I have your thoughts?
Okay, I think that everybody has spoken on the entirety of it, which is learn, network, and one part that I think is very important: show your work. It's show your work. You have to show your work. You have
Yeah.
to show people what you are doing, what you've achieved so far. It's not enough to just learn and be in the obscurity of it. It's like being in the shadows. I'm shouting, "Hey, I'm here, I'm here." Nobody's going to see you. You have to actually go to the light and show your work, show people what you have done, get mentored, network, and learn a lot. That's basically it.
Fantastic. I like that. Show yourself. It's not always easy though, because people are always afraid. Oh, what will people say? And they might not like it. Or people just have that phobia of putting themselves out there. I mean, even when I started this show, do you think I didn't have some, fear in my stomach? But I did. But it's been over 1 year now, and I'm still at it. So we must thank you very much, Jumoke. We must all put ourselves out there and showcase what it is we can do or what it is that we are doing. Thank you very much for that message, Goodness. And we're coming to the end of the show. We've got just 2 minutes left. Next week, we're going to be talking about Agile Beyond Software Development from Jill Broza there. That's going to be an interesting topic. And we have some comments from our audience. Learn, network, and show your work. Absolutely, Andrea. Very nice way to wrap it up, isn't it? Powerful role models, yes, the future leaders of Africa. Absolutely. So you see, Andrea, we have our work cut out for us. We have to, pave the way. They have to pave the way so that it can continue. That is what we're trying to do on this platform, and that is what so many other people are trying to do with their platforms as well. We need to create that space. We need to create, that what was the word I'm looking for? That's formidable group of women in our numbers, that can take the baton and run with it and create our own communities and develop more people. So, so, so important. You can support the organization with this. Yes, fantastic. Thank you very much. Go girls. Somebody there is saying go girls. Yes, thank you very much. And then Ronke also is saying, really impressive work by Africa Agility, and impressed with the three ladies and how they have represented. Absolutely. They have represented very, very well. And this is where we're going to draw the curtain. Goodness, thank you very much for spending time with me here.
Thank you for having me,
Ewere
ma'am.
Chukwu, thank you, Jumoke. Thank you all for being
Thank you for
spending
having
your
me, ma.
evening with Sincerely Agile with Mary. And I wish you all the very, very best as you go forward in your career. And I hope we have done justice to our conversation this evening. And I hope that more young ladies will watch this, and they will be inspired, and they would also want to come into this space and go and earn some dollars like Ewere Chukwu is doing right now in Sweden. So thank you to our audience. Thank you very much for always showing up. And to
Thank
you three ladies,
you.
amazing ladies, thank you so much, and have a good evening, everyone. Bye bye.